that point, I was happy. I didn't know what it was, but I was happy. They gave me like a little sheet telling me like what is like some symptoms and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm about to have this symptom. I'm about to have this symptom. I'm about to have this. It's your girl Andy, and I am back with another video. Before I get into the video, if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button, smash that bell so you can be notified every time that I post. Give this video a big thumbs up and comment down below other videos you would like to see me doing on my channel. So, by the title of the video, you already know I'm telling you guys a story today about the time that I went to the Navy. I briefly mentioned it in my first video, and if you haven't watched that video, click off this video and go watch that video. Or when this video is over, make sure you tune in to that video. It don't matter as long as you watch both videos. So, I'm going to try not to make this a long story, but I know it's going to be kind of long. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Get you a snack or something because this is going to be a good story. So, getting right into it, this took place 2014 to 2015. So, in 2014, I was fresh out of high school in 2013. You know, I was doing me, living my life. You know, I had a little job or whatever. I wasn't really doing too much with my life. And I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all see me keep looking down, it's because I wrote like a little note so I won't get off topic and I won't forget nothing because I need y'all to know every detail about this crazy experience. So, like I said, it was in 2014. I was working at a grocery store or whatever. So, this man used to always come into my job. And he was from the Navy. He was a Navy recruiter. And the Navy recruiting office was like in the same little strip mall as my job. So, he used to always come in there and get like food on his break and stuff. And he would always like talk to me and like ask me what I'm doing, like do I want to go to the Navy or whatever, and I always used to be like no, what I'm going to the Navy for, like no, I'm not about to do that. So one day I was kind of thinking like, dang, I mean I don't have a man, I'm not really doing nothing with my life right now, so like why can't I go to the Navy? I mean, my daddy was in the military, my granddaddy was in the military, my uncle was in the military, so like why can't I be in the military? Maybe the military is my calling. And he was always telling me like about all the money that you get, like all the free traveling, like the free school, like all that. Y'all know that sound good. That sound real good and real tempting, and you start thinking about it. So one day he came in and he was like, you ready yet? And I was like, yeah. Today is the day I am ready to do this. And he was like, okay, after you get off or the next day or whatever, just come into the office and talk to me. So the next day came. I can't remember if it was the next day or the same day, but I went into the office and I started the process. This process is not a short process. You're not finna go in there, sign up, leave the next day, leave the next week, leave the next month. No, it takes a long time to do this whole process of testing and medical stuff and all type of stuff. It takes forever. So in the midst of all of this going on, I ended up getting a boyfriend, but I was still in my head like I'm still going to the Navy, like this still what I'm gonna do. It's either he gonna wait or he not gonna wait, you know. Well, we was brand new, so I didn't even know if we was gonna last until I went to the Navy, but whatever. So now fast forward to 2015. Oh wait, no, I'm moving too fast. Fast forward to November. So I started the process in probably, I'm gonna say March, May, April, something like that. And I ended up not getting my date to leave until November. So in November I got my date to leave, and that date was March 2nd. I was going to be leaving for the Navy on March 2nd. So fast forward to March. Now March 1st comes, me and my boyfriend was still together. Now we almost been together kind of almost a year or whatever. So I was still like, okay, this is still what I'm gonna want to do. I'm gonna miss my boyfriend and all, but this is still what I want to do. So March 1st comes is the day that I actually left. So I left I stayed at a hotel, and at the hotel, your family can come like eat dinner with you and stuff. You spend the night at the hotel, and the next day you go to this building. It's like the military building. I don't really know how to describe it, but you go to the building, and at that building your family comes again, and you have a ceremony. The ceremony is just basically swearing you into the military, and your family get to watch that, and then you leave. So now I leave, and so actually let me go back and tell you guys some key things that you need to know. That morning of the second, I woke up at about 6 a.m. Remember that. Remember the times that I'm telling y'all, okay? Because this is going to be crazy. Just remember the times. So I woke up at 6 a.m. The ceremony probably started at about 10-ish. And the ceremony probably ended about 12-ish. And we left from there. After there, we went to the airport. At the airport, we were waiting for other people to come in from over wherever they were coming from. We were waiting for them to get there, so we were waiting at the airport. At the airport, there was this room, and it was kind of not a room, like a big room, I guess, where you go if you are in the military and you got like a layover or something, or you got a long time until your next flight or whatever. You can go there and you can just basically chill. They got like lazy boy couches you can sleep on. They got like food and big TVs and computers and stuff. So anybody can go there, and if you are in the military, you can go there. And that's where we went to wait for the other people. Also, we were given like this food voucher, and we can go to this. It was a specific restaurant that we had to go to, but we can get anything we wanted. Like, we can order any food we wanted. I think we had a budget, but I'm not too sure what the budget was. It don't matter. So now we eat our food and we go back to the room. So at the room, the lady told us you might want to take a nap because you're going to be up for probably the next 24 hours. So me being me, I'm like, okay, I want to take a nap, but I want to talk to my man. I want to talk to my friends. Like, I want to talk to my mama. Like, I want to get all my conversation out because I know once I make it there, my phone going to be taken and I can't talk to nobody. So I don't want to take a nap. Plus, I'm too excited, like too eager to see what's about to happen next. So I cannot take a nap. I don't know about y'all, but when I know something big finna happen, like, I can't go to sleep. It's just like when school used to start, the day before school start, you used to be woke all night, waking up early because you too thirsty to go. And that was me. I was too thirsty, and I should have listened to that lady, but I didn't. So after we chilled there for a little while, I want to say till about 6. So remember, I woke up at 6 a.m. Now it's 6 p.m. and we are still waiting on people to come in. So I think we finally left the airport about 7-ish, I want to say, and we headed to the boot camp, basic training, whatever you want to call it. So when we went to the basic training, it was in the Navy basic training is stationed in Great Lakes, Illinois. So that was, I'm from Chicago. We were in Chicago at the time. So I want to say it was probably like a 45-minute-ish, 30-minute-ish drive away. So we headed there, and I could have took a nap on the bus, but I didn't again because I gotta be on my phone. I gotta be talking to people. So we make it there. I want to say about 8. Let's just say we make it there about 8. Once we get there, we are told to make our last phone call. We got 2 minutes to make our last phone call to let our family know that we made it safe and we all good, and we'll see them at graduation. Who knows when that'll be, because we didn't know exactly when our graduation date would be at that time. So me being me, I called my mama in 1 minute. Ma, I made it. See you when I see you. Call my man for the other minute. Babe, I love you. See you when I see you. So, after that, we made our last phone call. We had to turn our phones off and stuff. From there, we did like we had to take a pee test. We had to get fitted for our sports bra, underwear, socks. Like we needed. Everybody has to have the same everything. T-shirts, shorts, and the sweatsuit and our gym shoes. So we had to get fitted for all of that. I want to say it was about a group of 50 people maybe. And just imagine everybody going like kind of one by one to do that stuff. And it's taking forever. And we also went to like a convenience store where we got like toothbrush, deodorant, like stuff like that, necessities that you were gonna need. Um, Also stuff for our hair because, as you know, in the military you have to wear your hair a certain way. So we got like scrunchies and bobby pins and anything you need to be able to put your hair in that bun. So after all of that, now it's probably about 5 o'clock in the morning. Remember, I woke up at 6 a.m. and I've been up this whole time until now. It's probably about 5 or 6 a.m. again. And now we are going to our unit. Our unit is the people who we will be with throughout the whole journey of basic training. So, when we made it there, we basically talked for a little while and we went to breakfast. So for breakfast, I did not eat because I was sick to my stomach because I was already in my head like, why did I come here? What am I doing here? Andrea, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing here, Andy? Did you really think this through? No, I didn't think it through. I thought it through, but I didn't think it through. So I was really depressed for like forever, the whole time I was there. But let's just talk about this right now. I was really depressed, so I didn't eat breakfast. I can't remember what we did for that first day. But when dinner time rolled around, I know I didn't eat again. I couldn't eat. I didn't eat for like the first 3 days. I don't know if I said that already, but you need to know I did not eat because I was so. That's how I knew I made the worst decision of my life. So next, for the first, okay, so for the first 2 weeks of basic training, you are basically getting fitted for all of your uniforms. Doing medical testing. Medical testing, they test you for everything in the book that you can think of. Um, you gotta do everything, like anything you can think of they're gonna do. Like they check for your wisdom teeth. Even if they haven't grown in yet, they are gonna pull your wisdom teeth out because baby, you cannot be on that boat and then wisdom teeth start growing and now it's like what you gonna do. So they take care of everything. Like they do all the medical testing, make sure you are physically fit enough to do everything that's gonna come with you being in the military. Okay, so all of that was going on. I was still really depressed and stuff. So I remember I asked this girl like, how do I go home and stuff. I was crying. I used to cry every night. It's not uncommon for people to cry though because everybody used to, well, not everybody, but a lot of people used to be crying. My bunk, the girl who was on the bottom bunk, I can't remember if I was on the top or the bottom, but whatever bunk, she used to be crying every night just like me. But she wasn't no punk like me. She stayed. I love. So I asked a girl, how do I leave? And she basically told me like, you can only leave for like a medical issue. Like that's the only how you can leave is a medical issue. So at that point, I knew that I was finna have a medical issue. I knew I was finna have a medical issue, baby, because I gotta get up out of here. Like I don't care what that medical issue was gonna be. I knew I was about to have one. So from there, we wrote like letters home. Well, the letter was pre-wrote out, and we basically just inserted our information, like our name, what our unit number was, so they can write to us, which we wouldn't be able to write to them until 3 weeks. So this letter, they told us not to write on it, but you know what I did? I wrote notes in the corner, notes at the top, notes at the back. Like I wrote my mama notes everywhere. Like tell my man this, tell my friends this, like tell this person this, tell this person. Like I wasn't playing because you talking about 3 weeks I can't write. I'm finna write on this paper and tell them everything they need to know. Also, they told us our graduation date, and yeah, so we had to tell them all of that. Um, so my first chance to leave, I blew it. So it's this thing called the moment of truth. Everybody do it. It's basically they bring you into a big room and they try to get you to tell the truth about anything that you lied about, anything that your recruiter told you to lie about. Recruiters tell you to lie. Recruiters need to recruit you to get their money. So they're going to tell you to lie about any minor thing just so that you can get in. And the point of the moment of truth is to get you to tell what they told you to lie about. So everybody always tell you like, don't let them trick you, don't let them trick you. Me, I was about to let them trick me. You know what? I wasn't about to be tricked. I was about to trick them, because at the moment of truth, when they get to talking like, oh, we can find out this and you can go to jail for this, stand up if you did this, like y'all don't have to say nothing, just stand up, just stand up. So I was waiting and I wanted to stand up so bad, but I didn't stand up. And then I'm like, okay, forget that. I stood up. So when I stood up, it was other people standing up and stuff. So they took everybody in the hallway that stood up. And then they basically just asked you, like, what was it that you lied about, to see if it was major or not major. I blew my chance like a dummy. And I told them that I had asthma, which I really did have asthma. And I don't know why I went to the military, because my asthma always acts up, especially when I'm active. So I told them like I lied and I didn't say that I had asthma. So when they was like, oh, did you have a doctor diagnose you with asthma? I said no. Because I got scared. I don't know why. I was just scared. And I told them no. Even though I had asthma since I was a baby, having asthma attacks out the womb, like having asthma attacks throughout my life, like I lied. And I told them no because I got scared. I don't know why. But after that day, I knew that I wasn't finna punk out no more. I was getting up out of there. Like, I missed my chance, but I ain't gonna miss it next time. Bet you that. Bet you that. So after that, I told you guys that we had to get tested for basically everything. So one day we were downstairs and I think we were going to dental, and they kind of called me to a back room where they called like a handful of other people. And basically in this room, you got tested positive for something. They didn't tell us exactly what at the beginning. They just told us like basically we tested positive for something and we had to go to this room for a meeting. So in my head, I was kind of scared because like I didn't know what I got tested positive for, and it's kind of you kind of get nervous because you don't know, because they test you for everything that they can think of, and the military can think of a lot of stuff, and you just don't know what it was. So when I get to the room, it is for sickle cell and G6PD. Even if you have like a .1 trace of sickle cell, like they gonna find that. So when I get to the room, basically they told me that I had G6PD. So if you don't know what G6PD is, it's fine, because I didn't know what it was either. They taught me something new that day because I didn't know what it was, but they told me that I had it. And basically it's a really serious form of anemia. So I always knew that I was anemic, but they basically told me that it was really bad. And with G6PD, you can need like blood transfusions, and like a lot of stuff affects you. Like it's crazy, but if you want to look it up, look it up. If you don't, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I had G6PD, so at that point I was happy. I didn't know what it was, but I was happy. They gave me like a little sheet telling me like what is like some symptoms and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm about to have this symptom, I'm about to have this symptom, I'm about to have this symptom. Like, I knew I was finna have all them symptoms, baby. You told me I got it, I got it. So basically they had to figure out if they were gonna send us home or like let us stay. Like, they had to figure it out. So some people had like, I don't know what it's like, the sickle cell trait, but they didn't actually have sickle cell, but they still could be possibly sent home too. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm gonna go home, maybe I'm gonna go home. But they talking about they don't know. So I need to come up with some more stuff because y'all need to know that y'all finna send me home. So after that, it was time to leave the beginning building. So we were first in the beginning building for I don't know how many days. I couldn't keep track. I was just so depressed. The days was just blending into each other. So, I don't know how many days we stayed in the beginning building, but we were eventually gonna have to move over to the building where we were gonna be staying for the rest of the time. Like this building is when you first come in, you handle this little business or whatever, and then you go to the building where you are going to be staying. So when we go to that building, we had to pack up all of our stuff, all the outfits that they gave us. At this point, we had our blue navy uniform and the boots and stuff. We had to wear that. We packed up like our all our other stuff in a big green duffel bag, put it on our back, and we had to like march. You know, in the military, you don't just walk. You like two-step walk or whatever it's called. So march in place walk, whatever you want to call it. So we had to walk like a mile across, and it is March in Illinois, and if you live in Illinois, you know in March it's still pretty winter. So it was cold that day. I remember like it was yesterday, and I was just marching, walking, and I'm like, this bag is heavy, and I need to get out of here. And something in my head told me that I was gonna have an asthma attack. Not a real asthma attack, a fake asthma attack. So I'm just marching and I'm in my head, and I remember back to the moment of truth when I punked out. I was about to punk out, and I was like, nah, don't do it, Andy, don't do it. And you know what? I did it. I started making myself cry. I fell out, and I was like I was dying, and I'm like, I can't breathe. Like I was acting like I couldn't talk. Like it was crazy. And I really felt bad for all the people who was in my unit because they had to stand there in the cold with those big bags on their back and wait for me to get picked up by the ambulance. So the ambulance came, took me to the hospital. I think I was in the hospital for like a day or two. And what really made me sad in the hospital was because I couldn't call my family. Like, what if I was really having an asthma attack? Like, what if I was really in danger or whatever? And I couldn't even call my family and let them know, like, what was going on with me. And at that point, I was like, yeah, I need to go because they don't care about me. They don't want my family to care about me and stuff. So, like, I need to go. So, after that first asthma attack, I went back and I cried that night because I was like, why y'all didn't send me home? At that point, I decided to have a second asthma attack. So I had a second asthma attack. I just stood there and I just faked like I started wheezing, and I needed to go back to the hospital. And they was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And I was crying like, oh my God, I can't breathe. Whole time I'm breathing. I'm breathing, baby, but I need to get up out of here. Like, what? So they took me to the hospital again. That time I was only in there for like a day, and then they sent me back. So I forgot to tell y'all, when I got diagnosed with the G6PD, I got a wristband. My wristband was LLD. LLD means light limited duty. So you have to be on light limited duty until they can figure out like if you're okay enough to do it. Since I had got diagnosed with the G6PD. So basically what that meant, we weren't working out at the time, but we were standing all the time. Like we had to stand all the time. Like we had books to study because we also took classes, and we had to stand up and like study for our tests. Like we couldn't sit down. That irritated me too because baby, I need to sit down. Like I'm studying, I want to sit down, but no, we had to stand up the whole time. So basically on LLD you can sit, like you can sit at all times. You're not supposed to stand up too much. So I used to already be sitting and lazy because I had the G6PD, but baby, I had that second asthma attack, whatever. So after that second asthma attack, they sent me to a specialist where they tested me for asthma. And y'all know these people said I didn't have asthma. Baby, I had asthma out the womb. And they told me I did not have asthma. So at that point, I was like, mm-mm, y'all tripping. Like something else gotta give. Something else gotta give. So after that, went to the doctor the next time, and I was like, yeah, cause I be having chest pains. Like my chest be hurting, and he was like, oh, chest pains. Like when did this start? And I was like, well, I always be having them, which I meant I always have them when I have my asthma attack. But I guess he meant that I always have them all the time. And at that point, he was like, do you want to be here? And I was like, well, I did, but I've been sick ever since. Baby, I was not sick. But whatever. I'm like, I did, but I've been sick the whole time. And then they was like, okay. And he filled out my papers and he sent me back. So when he sent me back, I had to give my sergeants or whatever they were called. I had to give them my papers, and they was like, "Oh dang, they probably gonna send her home soon." And I was like, "Send me home soon?" Like I thought I was gonna go home now. But then she kept reading the paper, and she's like, "Oh wait, she going home. Pack your stuff up. You leaving." And at that point, thank you, God. I was so happy. I was so happy. I was so happy that I was about to get ready and go home. Like, baby, you don't know how hard I was trying to get up out of there. So I'm thinking I'm finna go home that night. So they took me to this other building and they was like, okay, you get to call home. So I called my mama and I was like, Mom, coming home. Like, I've been sick. I wasn't sick, but I thought maybe they was listening to me. So I'm like, Mom, I've been sick. I'm coming home. Like, so when I called my mama, she actually told me that my niece was really sick, and my niece actually had a heart problem and she almost could have died. And she told me that they were actually trying to get in contact with the Navy or whatever to get me home because my niece was really bad. But she told me that they said I couldn't come home because it was just my niece. Like, it wasn't immediate family. So I was kind of happy at that point because I'm like, dang, like this coming in time, like I need to get home. So I told her like I'm not sure when I'm coming home soon, but I'm not exactly sure. So they did take me upstairs to a new unit. So in this unit, in this whole building, is full of people that are getting sent home. At that point, I found out that it was a long process to get sent home, and no telling when I'm gonna get sent home. Like, girls been there for like weeks and months, and they don't know when they're going home. Like, it's just whenever they do your paperwork and you can go home. So I was kind of feeling down about that, but at this building, it was like a free ball. Like, you can get phone calls every day. You can get on Facebook. Mind you, all this costs. But we were getting paid. Like, you get paid by the day. You get your money right then and there. Like, they gave us cash. And also, we were going to get, like, money once it was time to go home. Like, I went home with a big check. I think it was maybe, like, $500 that we got. But at the beginning when I told y'all we went to the convenience store and we got all the like our hygiene stuff, that cost. Like, nothing was free. The uniforms and stuff, that wasn't free, but they weren't gonna charge us for the uniforms and stuff until like later on down the line. But none of that was free. Like, everything was gonna come out of our checks. So they ended up giving us like, I guess we started off with like 500, and then like whatever we spent at the beginning, and then they subtracted that, and then we got the rest. So I think I probably got like 300, almost $400 in cash. And with the cash, I was able to buy like cards to get on Facebook, cards to make phone calls. Like, we were going to the arcade every Sunday. Like, we was having fun. Like, only thing we did there was like watch TV and hang out all day. We no longer had to follow like sleeping schedule as before. We kind of, it was like a couple hours later we went to sleep, and a couple hours later we woke up. That was cool, but that whole process, took like 2 weeks. So for me to get able to get sent home, that whole process from me making it there to me them saying, okay, I get to go home, that was 2 weeks. And then for me at the building to actually going home, that was 2 weeks. So I was actually there from March 2nd to March 25th. That's how long I was actually there. And yeah, it was the most horrible experience of my life. I actually did meet some friends there that I actually still talk to this day, not on a daily basis, but I do talk to them. When they say you meet friends for life in the military, you do. Like, you really do. And I know if I would have stayed, I would have met more friends, but that wasn't for me. Like, as I mentioned in my first video, if you haven't watched it, like I said, go watch it. I'm scared of water. Like, why would I go to the Navy and I'm scared of water? Like, I didn't know how to swim. I didn't think it through fully how I was going to process all of that. Like, I was just excited for the money and the travel, and I let the recruiter get to my head, and that wasn't for me. Not only was I not ready for the whole working out, the whole yelling at you 24/7, I wasn't ready to be away from my family and my friends. I wouldn't say my boyfriend so much because I mean we was together, but it wasn't that much deep, So it wasn't too much that. It was just I wasn't able to be away from my family like that and be in that situation, that type of environment. Like, that wasn't for me. Also, when I went to that other building, and I told you it was full of people that was going home. Well, a lot of those people were also people who faked their way out of it. And a lot of people didn't want to be there for real. Like, a lot of people faked their way out of it to get out. And I found out it was a way easier way that I could have took to get out of there. Like, I could have been gone if I would have knew that this what people be doing, but I didn't know. But it don't matter because I still got out that gym anyway. So my advice to anybody, if they want to go to the military, don't. Plain and simple, don't. But if you do want to go and you think it is for you, think again, because maybe it's not, because I thought it was for me, but it wasn't. But if you do realize that it is for you, I mean, some people enjoy the experience. Like, some people enjoy doing that, and that is for some people. It just wasn't for me. So my advice is research. Watch my video, and think again, because maybe I thought I wanted to, but I didn't. And I was so happy that I finally got to go home. And my niece was really sick. She ended up getting better, and she's doing fine now. Yeah, and that's it for this story. If you like this story, give me a big thumbs up. If you want to hear more story times, comment down below. If you went to the military, comment down below and tell me your experience. If you think you want to go, comment down below and ask me some questions, and I can let you know more in depth about things. The food, how it made you sick every day, because it make you sick. And they say that the military puts something in that food. I think they do, because baby, I mean, not like sick as in throwing up, but sick as in the bathroom all day. Like, I mean, they had like a buffet, and it was like a lot of food, and it was kind of good, but baby, that food wasn't right. Yeah, so that's going to be the end of this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and be on the lookout for more videos. And that's it. Peace.